Welcome to my channel, guys. This is GameZone, and in this video I am finally going to talk about my builds, how I set them up, and what builds I am mostly using these days. So I am going to start with my most favorite builds that I am mostly playing with every single day. With this build I can do PvP and PvE as well. All I have to do is swap my Paragon tree from Treasure Hunter to the Gladiator. Also, with my first build that right now, the one I have equipped, we can go with the Duelist as well, because all these skills are actually going to trigger really quick and give you some extra critical chance as well. So these builds contain five skills. One is which the primary, the crossbow shot. Then I am using impale with the excavator here, and I will get into that, but impale is what I am using. Then I have knockback shot, vengeance, and at the end, to have some mobility, I am using the daring swing. And now let's get into my builds and what is the mind behind those builds. I will share that as well with you guys. So firstly, I am starting with my set items that I have, which is 4 pieces of shalbas. Let me clear one thing here. Shalbas 4-piece are not really popular right now, because the best way to go is 4-piece or V2's Urge, because it pretty much trigger with all the skills that I am equipped with, because those skills are buff triggers. But I am here using 4-piece of Shalbas. The reason is because I like to switch my builds between two, this one and the multi-storm, and therefore me being a content creator, it gives me more access to try out different builds while keeping my attack speed directly from the source of primary attack. Therefore I am using Burning Heart of Shalbas, or you can say Shalbas 4-piece. But if you are specifically going for the excavator builds, then you can just go with the Vitus Arch and 2-piece of Shalbas, that is. And now let me explain what set item is the most important for Demon Hunter, and especially what buff is the most important. For a Demon Hunter, if you're new, then you would have to know that Demon Hunter having the ability to have the increased duration of all beneficial effects on you or your party member, you can leave that part. But the first one, that having the ability to have more duration on your beneficial effect, is actually going to make your Demon Hunter one of the strongest ones in the server. The reason is because most of the Demon Hunter skills are buff trigger. They can actually take the benefit from this first bonus of Vitus Urge. Let me just quickly share it with you guys what I mean. Let's say here it says vengeance works for 6 seconds only, right? When I activate my vengeance, it is giving me more than 10 seconds. And also, if you guys saw that, my bottle hop is also more than 10 seconds at the moment. But when we go inside the description of 5-star gem, it says it only works for 6 seconds. So having Vitus Arch, the first buff of Vitus Arch, is really important. Being a Demon Hunter, you have to have this in your builds for Demon Hunter, because a lot of stuff for Demon Hunter is going to take benefit out of this. So there goes our first thing. Also, let me just quickly show it to you guys what other skills are taking benefit right now. The daring swing, right? although not the daring swing. The knockback shot, it says it works for 6 seconds. Also, this is going to work for 5 seconds. Let me just quickly show it to you guys. When I activate my knockback shot, there it goes. It's more than 10 seconds. And let me activate my excavator. It says 5 seconds, right? Look, I already have it ready before it goes to cooldown. And not only that, I am using preferred instrument, and I will get into that. But the thing here, that the buff that it gives us is 10% increased damage for 4.8 seconds every time when we activate the knockback shot. But look at here, I am getting more than 4 seconds. Was close to 7 seconds. Let's just get in there again. 8 seconds. So I'm getting the double amount of what we normally get without the beneficial duration. So I hope I explained it well to all the demon hunters, that you actually need the two piece of Vitus Arch and the beneficial duration. And not only that, you need that on your gear as well on the family buff. Make sure that you have the duration of beneficial effects on your demon hunter, because I have that. I think I'm at around 17% from my gear at the moment. Every single piece of my demon hunter has this, and this is why I am getting a really long duration on my skills, which is making me more effective in PvE and PvP as well. So as you can see, all my gear have the beneficial duration. So two piece is definitely must have. The other four really doesn't matter if you guys do not want to use the attack speed, but I would suggest 4 piece of Vitus Arch, 2 piece of Shalbas, or 4 piece of Shalmas and 2 piece of Vitus Arch is the best way to go right now. But there are other builds as well that you can use. I mean the set items that you can use and still have a really good damage output, but I do not want to get into that. So I hope I am cleared with my set items here. And this might be a longer video, but I want to go with every single detail because I want to share my mind behind my builds, so that you guys will be able to understand why I am using something. So now let's get into the legendary gem, because this is the most important part after the set items here. Now let me tell you one thing about the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is a glass cannon class, meaning that you are going to get weapons that are going to keep you alive, because you will not be able to sustain damage. So you have to keep your distance and deal damage with your weapons, staying in the safer radius from your enemy. That means, let's say, if you equip yourself with the gems that are going to give you some defensive mechanism, then that is only going to make you less effective against your enemies, whether you're doing the PvE or PvP, because you still won't be able to take more than 2 or 3 hits in PvE, that is. And let's say if you guys are using the Phoenix Ashes here, where was it? If you guys are using the Frozen Heart or Phoenix Ashes, then they are just going to slow you down unless you're a whale and your gems are pretty much upgraded to rank 7 or 8 and they are the quality of 4-star or 5-star, then that's fine. But if you're a demon hunter and mid spender or free to play and trying out the defensive legendary gem, then it is just going to make you weaker, and the other player will have a higher probability to come close to you and defeat you. Therefore, you need all the damage that you can get so you can actually make sure that your enemy, the player that you're going up against, has a really small window to react against you. And this is why Demon Hunter need gems that can actually enhance the damage of this glass cannon class, because the only way to get out of the bad situation is to make sure that you don't let anyone react upon, react against you. And this is why I am going with the gems that actually gives me damage output. Frontman Fang, one of the hardest gems to upgrade in the entire game, because it is locked behind Battle Pass and Boon of Plenty, but it is worth it. In PvE, you're going to get 6% elite damage, and top of that, you are going to get 24% damage. And the speed that you actually have with the Demon Hunter and the builds that I am going to show it to you guys, getting it to maximum stack is not even a problem. So Fervent Fact is one of the best way to go, and since your range class, Bloody Reach is really good in PvP and PvE as well. So this is actually a must-have gem, and it also have some ability to slow down enemies as well, which is actually good. But against a player, you can say that it doesn't work, but still, when you're up against the enemy that are close to your resonance or even 3000, you can actually pretty much take them down. I myself can take down a player with around 3500 resonance, and I will get into that how. Then Gloomcast is one of the best 5-star legendary gem for Demon Hunter, because it takes the attack speed buff from all your gear, meaning if you have a 100% attack speed, then you will be able to unleash Gloomcast Blaze with the 100% attack speed. And the best part is that it works with your primary attack, so you don't have to worry. Also, it gives you the 42% blade base damage, and I think it goes up to 68% on rank 10, but 42% is good enough. And then the second buff is it gives you 6% increased damage from your primary attack for 3 seconds. That is insane. And on rank 5 it is going to go to 12%. So technically this gem is actually stronger than Bloodsoaked Jade, but Bloodsoaked Jade is still needed. The reason is because you are going to get straight out increased damage, you're going to get some mobility, also you're going to take some less damage. So this gem is good. And Bottle Hope, I already showed it to you guys that it takes the beneficial duration effect from the Ritus and the gear pieces that you are equipped with the beneficial duration. So it's a really good gem to go for the Demon Hunter. And lastly, Berserker Eye. I am planning on changing this gem later on with the new 2-star gem that is coming out, the Lament, Mother Lament, and it is going to give us 32% increased critical chance, and in my opinion that is going to be a quite game changer for PvE and PvP, but I will test that later on. But for now, Berserker Eye is the best way to go with the setup that I am using, because if I try to use Carbon Invigoration, then it is not good for me. And also Everlasting Torment is no longer good for me, because the damage output the time to kill that I have is so high that Everlasting Torment doesn't kick in to deal some extra damage to enemies in PvE or PvP unless a player is running away from me. That is why I will not suggest Everlasting Torment, or or cast an invigoration for the specific builds that I am using here. So the best way to go is Berserker Eye in my opinion, because it is going to give you 16% increased damage and 2% critical chance. And also, if you guys are wondering what happened to taking 5% extra damage, well, if you go inside the PvP, it is also reduced down to, I think, 2% if I am not mistaken. And also, having a 1-star gem is actually really good, and I would suggest, if you guys want to awaken a slot to get the first buff of awakening slot, then I would suggest to go with the offhand, because offhand has one of the strongest awaken abilities that you can get. So this should be your first priority. After that, try to go with the chest, because chest is the second best option to awaken your slot, and after that I think helmet is the third best option, which I am at the moment trying to awaken by upgrading my Sparman Fang, but I still need copies and gem power. So I hope I elaborated the legendary gem and the reason behind it, why it is necessary. Then let's dig into my builds now. As for this season, these builds are one of the strongest, and there is one more which I will share. So False Manifesto, you need that. I am using that with the knockback shot, and we are using a combo of chest piece and helmet here. So what what False Manifesto is doing is giving us the 30% attack speed for 6.4 second, and with the reduced buff it is giving me more than 10 second. And I am combining that with the new chest piece, that is Wind Shear. And what it does is, hold on, let me show you. This is the normal primary. What it does is gives us the wind blade effect. As you can see, a eagle or a bird, you can see is a bird. You can fire that with your primary. Also, if you are in a party and someone is using fire against the enemy, when fire ignite with the air, this is the air effect, the wind shear, it is going to create firestorm. Firestorm deal 50% increased damage to any target that is taking damage from both fire and air at the same time. And this is actually a really good option. You can take benefit from other players in the party with these builds. If someone is igniting someone on fire, then your wind shear is going to deal extra damage by igniting them and doing the firestorm damage. So there goes our first two essence, and I hope I explained them well. Then Chilling Rat Mental, that is what I am using for my Daring Swing. Well, what it does is Daring Swing now fires an icy arrows at the ground, forming an icy path, dealing 18% increased damage. Well, I use this for two reasons. One, because I have no other I really don't have any other option with this build. And the second reason is it helps me in PvP. Let's say if someone is chasing me behind, I can use this to escape, and if the persons try to follow me and step on the ice, he is going to get slowed down, which is going to help me create more distance from him, and I can use this vice versa as well. Or instead, I'll just do the daring swing on another player, and this is going to slow him down, and I can then use that as an opportunity to deal some quick damage on him, and I will get into that as well. So there goes the explanation of my shoulder. Then we are using Scone Beak, another one of the strongest pants that there is. It is the strongest pant. I already have tested it. You guys can see the test of this on my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I have tested it with the Runest path. I have tested this with the Silent Retribution, and if you guys want me to do some more side testing, do let me know and I will do that as well. But anyways, this is going to give us the 30% increase speed every time when you use a daring string. And again, with the V2's buff, that is giving us the beneficial duration. Also, we have some in the gear. It actually lasts more than 6.4 seconds for me, and I will show you. As you can see, it is lasting more than 10 seconds for me, and by the time it's recharged again, I still have some sec millisecond left, so you really don't run out of the attack speed from the daring string, and you only have to do it once every 10 seconds, so it is not that really annoying in my opinion with the beneficial duration. And now let's get into our weapons. We are using the excavator, and combining that we are using the preferred instrument. Actually, we are combining the preferred instrument with our chest piece and false manifesto because it actually gives us, after using knockback shot, your damage is increased by 10% for 4.8 seconds. Knockback shot cooldown decreased by 10% if you have a vacant slot. So I will only suggest preferred instrument if you have a vacant slot. Otherwise, you can go with the with the obscura that does the bleeding effect on enemies, or you can go with the hungerer. But you need to have a vacant slot to have the preferred instrument, because preferred instrument in my opinion might not do well with if you guys do not have the vacant slot here. But for me, I have a vacant slot and I am using this, and it is helping me to close the distance between my cooldown, and I only have to wait like not more than a second and a half, and I think that is good for me. So this is why I'm using it. And we have the excavator here, and what it does: impale now cause your primary damage to also hull penetrating knife that deal damage to all enemies. So we are using primary, we are using knockback shot, we are using impale, we are doing jump, and we are using the vengeance. So that makes 1 2 3 4 5 sources working all together at the same time. And not to forget that your gloom cask is your fifth effect that is going to kick in for you, and having 5 different effects working together is insane, especially when you have a family buff that is your primary attack have a 2% chance to increase all damage you deal by 100% for 1 second. And I can confirm that when this triggers, all your damage output increases from all the sources for 1 second. Meaning, let's say I'm a 1600 resonance, but when it triggers in PvP, my damage output is going to go skyrocket, and that is why I call this a burst damage against a player, and I can easily take down a guy with 180k health, of course if he doesn't able to reach to me. And this is why I explain, being a demon hunter, it is to make sure that you do not allow your opponent to react against you. So go with gems that actually increase your damage output, and make sure that the other player has a really smaller window to react against you. And having the gems that gives me damage multipliers or increase my damage, and on top of that having the ability to have the family buff that increase my damage to 100% in PvP, these are really good combo in my opinion. And not to forget, if you have the family buff trig effect activated in all your gear pieces, then the cooldown of this family buff is going to go down to 13 seconds. So every 13 seconds you are going to get the benefit of vengeance here. And there are other uh, options as well for a demon hunter. If you guys want to go separately with each specific attribute that you want, then you are going to lose the burst damage for PvP. In my opinion, that is actually really helpful. Otherwise, you can go with the crit damage, you can go with the block chance, you can go with the cheat that can keep the duration of beneficial effect and attack speed and primary damage. So there are many other options, but in my opinion, family buff is really important. And apart from that, you need three other attributes: primary attack damage, you need the duration of beneficial effect increased by 2.5%, and you need attack speed as well. The rest of the two from the vengeance uh, attributes, you can go with the damage to player, and you can choose damage to shield. That is also going to help you in PvP. And with these builds, the one I am using right now, I can actually pretty much do a challenge rift well above 520 combat rating compared to mine. So these builds are really good, but one thing I will not suggest you guys to do when you guys are going in the higher challenges, like 500 higher combat rating challenge rift, go with the hunger. Hunger is the best way for the higher challenge rift. I have already tested it, but other than that, if you guys are doing the single target or PvP or normal PvE content like Hell 8 difficulty dungeons, then preferred instrument and obscura are the best way to go. You really don't need hungerer, but if you want to do a speed run solo in dungeon, then hungerer is still the best way to go. And now let me dig into my second builds that I use as well, but not mostly. These are the fire multi-storm builds. You can create firestorm with this. You put enemies on fire and you shoot them with your wind shear. That's how it works. And the only thing with that is different here is the shoulder that deal 250% damage to shield, and I think it is really good for players against in PvP that are using shield. Then I am using flame spite here, and rest of the things are just the same. The only thing that I have replaced is my excavator with the multi-storm here. And if you guys are wondering how come or why am I still using the vengeance, aren't there any other option that are good for demon hunter? If you guys want me to try out something, do let me know and I will do a testing. But as far as I have seen, vengeance is still good, because when you're moving around, vengeance can actually work with you while you have the ability to move around. And since it works almost 9 seconds for me, the cooldown is not an issue, and I think it is a really good option still. But you can use Rain of Vengeance in PvP as well. But for the multi-storm builds, you can put enemies on fire and use Firestorm. But these are not the highest damage dealer builds. Windblade are the highest damage dealer builds. The one I have talked about a lot, and it's been almost a 30-minute video now. So I hope I covered everything here. And when talking about my charm here, as you can see, I am not really focusing on my charm here. The only thing I already talked about it, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing if you can get is crossbow damage, try to get that, and impale, vengeance, rain of vengeance. And as you can see, I have some random there as well, but from the demon hunter class. So I hope I hope, I mean, these builds of mine and the mindset behind it actually can help you guys out there. And if you guys have any question, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, take care, have fun, and bye. That's it, and that's all.